Welcome to Emilak Online Tutorial. Now before us is this question. This is an A-level UK maths question, and it says the curve C has equation px cubed plus qxy plus 2y squared equals 28, where p and q are constants. Now say A, show that the y dx equals ap x squared plus b bqy all over qx plus cy. Now where a, b and c are constant, then also say given that point p with coordinate -1, -5 lies on c, and the number to c at p has the equation 8x plus 13y plus 73 equals 0. And b, find the values of p and q. Now to start with, this equation is a curve. Now we are told to show that dy dx equals this fraction here. So how then do we get started? Now for the fact that we are seeing dy dx, it implies that we need to what? Differentiate this equation. So let us start with that. We have px cubed now plus qxy plus 2y squared equals 28. Now to start with, we need to differentiate now with respect to x. Okay, so how then do we do that? Now we have to differentiate this. Take note that p, q are constant. Alright, now and at this point here we are having x, y. Now to differentiate these, we have to use the product rule. Okay, that gives you that y, if y equals uv, okay, you have to do dy, dx will give you let's say v du dx, then plus u dv dx. Okay, that is taking this constant, taking v constant, differentiating u, then plus keeping u constant and differentiating v. So that is the rule apply here. Okay, so which means we are differentiating it implicitly. All right, to start with, now let us start differentiating x here. So what we need to have here is 2px raised to the power of what? 2. Okay, then plus, now to this end, now let us start with x. Let's differentiate x and keep y constant. Differentiating x, which is just a single term without an exponent, we have q, then y, because it becomes 1. Then plus, take note, we have to differentiate y this time around. Okay, then keeping x constant. So then we have q. All right, then here we have x. Now differentiating y, we are supposed to have 1. Okay, but because we're differentiating y, so we have what? Dy all over what? Dx. Now plus, in this case also, differentiating y here, we have 4y, that is 2 times 2 give us 4, then 2 minus 1, that is 1, then dy dx then equals what? 0, because this is a constant. For every constant it becomes 0. So what we need to do now, let us factor out dy dx here. So here we have 2px squared plus qy, then plus dy dx, okay, then into qx plus 4y all equals what? 0. Now we can take the whole of this, 2px squared plus oh sorry, this should be 3. This should be 3. Sorry for that. So here, taking 3px squared plus qy over to the right hand side, so we get to have that dy dx then into qx plus 4y. Now taking the whole of this to the right hand side, you have a negative 3px squared negative qy. Now dividing both sides by qx plus 4y, so we get to have qx plus 4y. eliminating this. So here we have dy dx equals negative 3px squared minus qy all over qx then plus 4y, which is the same as saying ap x squared now plus bqy all over qx plus what cy. In this case, we can now conclude that our a equals negative 3, then our b equals negative 1, then our c equals 4. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we are here told that given that the point P with this coordinate negative 1, negative 5 lies on what? C, okay, and the normal to C, okay, at P has equation. Now for instance, let's say this is the curve. Now, okay, now this is the curve C, all right, and this is the normal P, okay, they meet here, and this is the line, okay, equation that that is 8x plus 13y plus what 7. Okay, now at this point you can see where the curve and the normal meet, okay, and you can see from here that this is tangent to the curve, all right, making it perpendicular. All right, now the main goal here now is to find the slope of the curve, also find the slope of this straight line. Okay, and take note, since they are perpendicular, we have that m1 m2 equals what? Negative what? 1. All right, so we need to apply this rule. This is the rule we need to apply now to find the value of P and Q. Okay, now that we've understand this concept, now let us now solve it out. Now here dy dx here represents the gradient for the curve. Now but in this case, now let us find the gradient to the line. Now for us to find the gradient of the line, let us just represent it as y equals what? Mx plus what? C, where m here tells us the gradient and c is the constant, okay, which is the intercept on the y. Okay, now this is the general formula of a straight line graph. So from this, here we have 8x plus 13y plus 73 equals what? 0. Now let us transform this equation to this form. Okay, by so doing, then we get to find the slope. Okay, so with that, now let us just take 73 over to the right hand side. We are left with what? 8x plus 13y equals what? Negative 73. Right? Okay, then taking 8x also over to the right hand side, we are left with what? 13y equals what? Negative 8x negative 73. Okay, now divide both sides by 13. So we get to have what? Y equals what? Negative 8x all over 13 minus 73 all over what? 13. You can see that this equation now align with this, which implies that y equals what? Mx plus what? C. Now to this end, now we can actually conclude that our slope for the straight line graph or for this normal is negative 8 all over what? 3. Right? That is good. All right, so to this stand now, Take note, by the diagram I previously drew, now that the curve, okay, is tangent to the line. The line is tangent to the curve, which means it was perpendicular. So we have to apply this to m1, m2 equals what? -1. Let us make m2 the line of the gradient, sorry, for the normal. So here we have that m1 now into -8 over 13 equals what? -1. Now let us multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this fraction. So that should be -13 all over 8, right? Yeah. Then times -8 all over 13, then equals -1 times -13 all over what? 8. So you can see we will eliminate this, we eliminate this. Then m1 will now give us 13 all over what? 8. Alright, which is now equals to dy all over what? The x. Okay, now that we have the y over the x, which is this, okay, then we'll then plug in. Take note that the point that given that p, which is x, and what? Y. Now we have to plug in the value of x and y into this equation here. Okay, all right. Now let us come over here and let's start doing that. Now take note that dy dx already is what? 13 over 8. So here we have 13 over 8, then equals -3 p into -1, okay, raised to the power of 2, then minus q into -5, right? Yes. Then all over q into -1, then plus 4 into -5. Okay, so that is that. Then we need to be very, very careful here because of the minus and exponents. So here we have 13 all over 8, then equals -3. Then here we have p, because x -1 or -1 is the power of 2 is what? 1. Then here -5 times -q, you have what? Plus 5q, right? Then all over this is -q, then -20, right? So that is that. So to this time now, let us just cross multiply. So we get to have 13 into -q -20, then equals 8 into -3p plus 5q. Now opening the bracket here, we have -13q minus this times this should give us 260, yeah, then equals -24p, okay, plus 40q. All right, now let us take p and q over to the right hand side, then you bring the constant over to this side. So we get to have -13q, okay, where's the other q here? -40q, then plus 24p, then equals 260. Okay, so this and this will give us 53 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, -53q, then plus 24p, then equals what? 260. Now rearranging it so that it look more beautiful, you have 24p minus 53q equals what? 260. All right, so now that we've gotten this equation, now let us recall that this particular point lies on C. Okay, and what does that imply? It implies that you can plug in this value of x and y into the equation. So here we have p, into negative 1 raised to the power of 3 plus q into negative 1 negative 5 now plus 2 negative 5 raised to the power of 2 all equals to 28. Alright, so here we have negative p. Now this is plus 5q. Now this should be 25, right? And 25, that is negative 5 raised to the power of 2 is 25. Then times 2, that will give us plus 50. Then equals what? 28. So here we have negative p plus 5q equals, taking 50 over to the right hand side, we have 28 minus 50. So here you have negative p plus 5q, then equals 28 minus 50 should give us negative 22. Okay, now repositioning this, okay, since we have p here, we have q. Okay, now let us now reconcile the two. Now let us make this one equation 1 and make this one equation 2. Okay, so let us come here. We have 24p minus 53q equals 260. Then negative p now plus 5q equals negative 22. Okay, now now we can solve this by using our elimination method. Now what we need to do here is to ensure that either of these unknown has the same coefficient. Okay, now a simpler one here, let us multiply both sides by 24. That is for equation 2. This is equation 1. Multiply this by 1 and multiply this by 24. Why I'm multiplying by 24 is to ensure that p has the same coefficient as p in equation 2 has the same coefficient as p in equation 1, thereby allowing us to eliminate p and finding the value of what? Q. So here we have 24p now minus 53q equals 260. Then here we have minus 24p now plus this should give us 20 0 2. Then here is 100, that is 120q, then equals 22 times 24. This will give us negative 528. So to this end, let us add. By adding, this gives us 0. Now 120 minus 53, it will have 67q, and equals, by adding here, we have 528 minus 260, and we get 268. Now dividing both sides by 67, because we are looking for the value of q, we get to have, sorry, this minus this should give us negative, right? Yes, when we add here we have negative. So here we have what? This eliminate this, we have what? Negative what? 4. Okay, now q equals negative what? 4. Now let us plug in q equals negative 4 in equation 2 to find the value of p, then minus p plus 5 into negative 4, then equals minus 22. So here we have negative p, negative 20, or minus 20 minus 22. So here let us add 20 to both sides. So here we have negative p, then equals this one should give us negative 2, right? Yeah. So our p equals what? 2. So p equals 2, and our q equals what? Negative 4. Alright, that is the final answer. If you love what I've just done, Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and ensure you click on the notification button to be notified of all my videos in physics and mathematics. And don't forget to share this. Thank you and God bless you.